that. So you can see I've got a couple of different things spread out here to show everyone. So the first thing that I got asked a lot of questions about was, what can we do about the couplings? And I've tried out a couple of different options so you can judge for yourself. So what I've done here with James is taken the suggestion that someone made that what you can do is if you just unscrew the tender, which you can do with one of these screwdrivers here. I won't show on camera, but it's one of the 3-prong screwdrivers. You can get them, got my set from Amazon. You can just unscrew the back of the tender. It comes apart very easily. It's like 2 pieces plus the wheels. And you can just put James's coupling straight through this hole, and then you'll be fine, and it'll all fit in really nicely. This does look really good. I mean, look at that gap. That's stunning. And it seems like it's going to work because there's quite a bit of flexibility in how the engines work. But I can confirm it does not work. And see, I've got some batteries in James, and I can show you exactly what I mean. So, if you had a very flat, no hills at all layout, it might work. But I can show you that if you have anything that is remotely interesting in terms of hills, you're going to have some problems. And you can see here that what's happening is James's tender is kind of lifting up there as he goes down the hill. So I'll give you a better shot of it there. Yeah, it kind of flicks up, and there you go. It's derailed. And it's staying derailed. And that's what's going to happen. And equally, if you run it in the other direction, he gets stuck. And the reason for that is because there's an interference between the buffer and the side of his body. So that suggestion, thank you, no dice. Other people said, why don't you buy a packet of the Tomy couplings, which you can buy a pack like this. It's got 5 of the little hooks and 5 of the loops, which you can see here, and try using those. And I thought, you know what, fine, I'll give it a crack. And I did give it a crack. And now we can look at the results of that test. Ta-da! Now, of course, it is a bit annoying because they're white, whereas all the other couplings are silver, so it does look a little bit funky. Certainly not as sleek as the James solution. The other thing to note is that the whole of this section, which is the part that's supposed to go in here, is too small. It's too small to fit on the little plastic nub that if you pull off these wheels, you'll see there's like a little nub. So what I've had to do, and what you will also have to do if you want to do this mod, is you actually have to put the end, which is supposed to be where the coupling goes into, onto that plastic rod, and then you have this section here, and that has enough give in it, and it's a bit larger, so you still get your rotational motion, and then these have enough give in them that they can clip through the slightly thicker plastic. But what you do get is a much, much, much closer coupling than we've seen from the default settings with the long coupling. But because you've got that extra joint in there, you can see there's a lot more flexibility. And if I just show you what I mean, Gordon will run without issue. Now again, these are like fresh batteries, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. That's why I've got my all engines go Percy, just to test if there is any difference in the speed. But yeah, you can see he runs along now with no problems and looks much, much better with that close coupling. I think that does a lot of help in terms of making the proportions of these engines, in particular tender engines, look much less silly. So that is how Gordon looks. And then I'll do a comparison with all of them in a minute. I don't think I've got any batteries in Scotsman. No. I've already also done the same to Scotsman. And again, you can see the difference that makes. It's just another, it's a whole nother world. So if we line them up like this, you'll get a sense then of what they all look like. And then we'll get a Thomas, who I haven't done the coupling surgery to yet, here for some comparisons. So if you look at this, we'll line up all of their back buffers. There you go. And you can really see in this shot here the difference. So very small gap. You've got this moderately large gap here, and then much, much larger. interesting to see that, you don't, each one, obviously there's a lot of difference between the James and the Thomas, but individually there's not a heap of difference, but it's just taking off those extra few millimeters, and if you can even kind of get that effect if you push Thomas forward so the truck is not slack, you can see it makes just a world of difference having that smaller coupling. You can see the couplings do stick out, so if I was there, had the creative touch, I would paint these couplings with silver first before I put them on, but I'm not that talented, so they're going to stay white. So yeah, that is how that works, and again, for one final comparison, you can see how the long coupling looks. And again, it's interesting that these couplings are actually a different shade of grey to the ones on the classic engines, but if we put Percy here from All Engines Go, again, he's also got that very large coupling gap. So, yeah, that is that. The one last thing people are asking is, are there strength differences and how strong are these engines? I don't have enough rolling stock to test, I'm sorry. I can't tell you. But what I will do is put some batteries, some fresh alkaline batteries, brand name not shown, to test these two in particular and just see whether there's any speed differences, because it is meant to be the same chassis, but let's just do a final test to find out. Alright, All Engines Go Percy, All Engines Thomas, both with fresh new non-rechargeable batteries, then let's see. So if one is faster than the other, they will catch up. And it looks like the All Engines Go Percy is catching up on Thomas. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind they're clearly catching up to each other. So it does seem like, whether intentionally or unintentionally, there has been an attempt to gear down these engines so they don't run as fast. I mean, we know All Engines Go is not very realistic and they do run at absolutely zany, crazy speeds. But it does seem like, perhaps it is intentional. Let's do a quick then test between these. For fairness, we should make Gordon run without his tender. Between using rechargeable batteries and non-rechargeable batteries in these. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh yeah. Interesting. I find it so interesting. Oh, yeah. Well, we know who's going to be getting poo out of which mine. It's these engines really, and I'm quite surprised to be honest, don't like rechargeable batteries. They clearly need very high current. So yeah, I would recommend, if you want to get the optimal speed, you definitely want to put some fresh alkalines in these. And unfortunately, you're going to have to leave the rechargeables for your computer mouse. But yeah, very interesting to see that speed difference. People who've got more examples, I mean, this could just be a fluke, and this one is a very fast, wide Percy. I don't know. So I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below as to how you find the difference between these speeds once you pick up these engines. So hopefully this video has been a little bit of help. It's answered some questions about this brand new line of engines. Would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Also can't wait to see other people review these, because I'm sure they're going to find things that I have totally missed. Alright, as always, thank you very much for watching. This is all we've got time for. Stream Trains. Just a brief addendum here to the video. I've now taken apart the Thomas, as you can see, and he doesn't just have a single coupling. You've got a screw, I should say. You've got to pull apart his whole chassis, and it just reveals to me how simple and bare bones these chassis really are. I mean, you've got this top piece here, which has the switch and the battery. There's no connection. You've just got this little motor, which literally just sits. It's not focusing, but that just sits in the body like this. That's what meshes with the wheels, and that's it. And then you can just, once you get this piece off, you can pull this off. You can see here when I was talking about the hole is much larger on these versus these. It looks like I'll be able to put Thomas's in the right way around, which presumably would just mean it's a little bit less stress on the couplings when you're coupling them, uncoupling them. But yeah, wow. Just thought I would show everyone what these funky things look like on the inside. Very, very cheap in terms of how they've been put together. The more you know.